I'd like to give a warm welcome to our panelists. Could we please welcome up to the stage Nusrat Munshi, AGP Limited, and also Atif, Idrees Siddiqui from CCL Pharma, Qurat-ul-Ain, Irfan, Pacific Pharmaceuticals Limited, Adeel, Abbas, Highnoon Laboratories, Haroon, Qassim, PharmEvo, Mr. Arshad Mehmood, the North PPMA Chairman, Hamid Raza from Neutro Pharma, Moujood Hassan from the Searle Company, and Tauqeer-ul-Haq from Sante Limited. It's a big panel today. We're going to have lots of insights. So thank you all for joining us today. And what I'd like to do, the microphones you have in front of you, just turn them on, press the little button so the red light comes on, then you'll be able to speak to everybody. What I would like to do to begin with is just to go down the line and for each of you to tell us a little bit about yourself and about the success stories you've had as a top pharma exporter and highlighting any key milestones and your challenges faced and the strategies that you are doing that to deal with. So I'm going to start with Haroon right at the end there. If I can start with you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Emma. My name is Haroon Qassim, and I'm the Managing Director of PharmEvo Private Limited. And I'm also the co-host chairman of this Pharma Summit and the PESA Award. Very briefly, I think success is something which you earn from your failures. It's easier to talk about successes, but I think it's very difficult to talk about the failures. So what I would like to start with, maybe mention few of the failures which lead us to success of exports in the international markets. I think the pharmaceutical industry as a global phenomena is a very, very intensive industry. And I remember I started, working on the export markets in 2003. And we went to regional markets, we went to global markets. And it took us about almost 10 years before we could figure out how to channelize our exports into international worlds. First of all, when you go to the international markets, it's very challenging to understand those markets, especially you have many language barriers, you have to understand the local context of the industry, and then you have to look for the business partners. So I remember when we went to the regional markets, especially the Far Eastern markets like Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, Philippines, it was really a struggle to have to find the distributors and then introduce and launch our product. And also the registration of pharmaceutical products takes a long time. So failures after failures, eventually we reached to a point that we could hire or we could make business partners in the international markets. What leads to the successes, I think, one was as Dr. Emily mentioned in her remark, and I think it's a very, very valid point for any exports. It goes without saying wherever you are, I think the quality aspect is something which PharmEvo took to the heart, and we really believed in the quality of our products, and we stood by that. And we took that quality aspect to the international markets. And then we improved our processes. We implemented SAP, which is a global software for processes and controls. And then, we went for international certifications, which one of my colleagues in his keynote speech mentioned, Javed Ghulam of Martin Dow, that it's very important that to go into the international markets, you have to have certification. So It took us about 10 years before we went to WHO certification, and only last 2 months ago, we were awarded with the WHO certification. So overall, there were many failures which led to this success. And I think it's important for any company to go into the international markets. Is without failure, you will not have a success. So it's important that you fail, and then eventually you will learn and you will succeed. So I would, my 2 cents will be for any of my colleagues in the industry here that you have to embrace the failure, and then eventually you work hard and you reach to the success levels. So this is what I would, add to this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then if I could ask the gentleman sitting next to you the same. So basically highlight some key successes and any challenges that you've faced.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. My name is Moujood Hassan. I'm working Chief Operating Officer Global Business in the Searle company. So as Mr. Haroon mentioned, that the success is the result of long efforts and continuous improvement. I joined this company in August 2014, almost 9 years back. At that time, Searle exports were degrowing, and distributors which they have were not happy, team were not happy. So when I took over the charge, so what first thing I did, I write down all the challenges which the team and the Searle company is facing. And we identify that major challenges are the internal instead of the external. So to address the internal challenges, obviously, I made a list, and then I discussed our managing director, Mr. Nadeem Ahmed, who was willing to make Searle also the major export player of the Pakistan. Anyhow, cut it short, the first thing we did is we try to change the mindset of our people, particularly the technical people who were not ready to make CTD dossiers. Then there's a long or huge list of the heavy investment which you need, like R&D center. We had 4 plants, but no R&D center, no QC lab properly. So we have now a centralized R&D center where we are developing many new products, and also a small R&D center in every plant. So it took 3 years to change the mindset and everything. And in 2017, we started submit CTD dossier. Similarly, for the external challenges, one is the regulatory challenge which every company is facing. The second challenge was that the distributor which were hired before me, the team which were hired before me were not enabled to promote or proper establish Searle product. So what I did is, I established first head office team and recruit one of the best people available in the industry. And slowly we start revamping up our operations. We started from one country, Afghanistan. We fire all the distributor, all the team. We changed distributor and team. Similarly, we went to Sri Lanka. We changed distributor model. From distributor model, we start our own marketing sales team. This is we have done. And on the other hand, what we have done is that we hired the best regulatory consultant company in each of the countries. Instead of using regulatory team of the distributor which were not performing well, we hired the consultant. And through consultant, we start registering our product. So in 9-year time, if you see, now Searle is operating in more than 20 countries from Pakistan. We have around 800 registrations in different countries. Our team size is more than 300 people dedicated only promoting Searle product. So this is the success which we have achieved, but by passing these all the challenges. My recommendation would be that first, the government should support to the pharmaceutical exporter in terms of that help us to, reimburse something from the registration fee, plant inspections, and to derive that we should have accredited bioequivalence lab here. Like Bangladesh government is helping the Bangladeshi companies for the BE, Indian government also helping for BE, but our government is not helping in registration fee, plant inspection, BE, which is at the moment is a big challenge to the industry.
Okay.
So still I believe that export opportunities from Pakistan to CIS, to Southeast Asia and Africa, there is a huge potential if our government will support us to help us to get a more and more registration. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Moujood. Thank you. And gentleman next to you, the same. We just keep this initial bit just short so then we can get to the questions and get into discussion. That'd be great. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Hamid, Raza. I'm representing my major companies, the Neutro Pharma Private Limited. But we have other companies like High Nutrition, which we produce the nutraceutical products, and NS Pharma, Radiant Pharma, and Ali Industries. I would like to share that we are one of the first companies who got NSF certification from the US in the nutraceutical category. That helped us to access the US market. And right now, we are one of the few companies who are exporting their products to the US and UK market. And we are also first company to be listed on the Amazon in the gated category from Pakistan. And the real vision or the challenge or the thought was to, as we had the top brand of vitamin D3 in Pakistan, we are the brand leader in this category. So I wanted to share this good product with the other countries. Right now, we are exporting our pharmaceutical and Nutra products more than 10 countries. And the biggest success I regard as my company is the access to the most biggest and the regulated market of the US and UK. It's not a big success in terms of volumes at the moment, but I believe that we'll be able to develop our brand with our strategies in the near future. And in addition to the vitamin D3, we'll be adding more products in the UK and US portfolio. Thank you.
Thank you. Tauqeer?
Ji, Assalamu alaikum ji. I am Tauqeer-ul-Haq, Managing Director, Sante Pharmaceutical, and I'm also ex-chairman PPMA. I think in order to expand your business in export market, the most important factor is agility and drive. We should always be agile in terms of looking into the external factors in the countries in which we are operating. And at the same time, we have to have a drive to continuous improvement in terms of our product portfolio and investment in our plants. So as a pharmaceutical company, mashallah, today we are one of the largest exporter for ophthalmic products, which is eye care products. And we are exporting our products very successfully in 7-8 markets. We are number 3 ophthalmic company in Sri Lanka now. And in the next few years, we'll be entering into at least 6 countries more. So the success for us as exporter, because now the total contribution of our company is more than 30% in terms of export business. And we have our leading brands in all the countries in which we are operating, like Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Sri Lanka, and many other countries. So the success came because always me and my team tried to keep a finger on the pulse. We should always be able to find out the opportunities, and quick decision making is key to success. For example, in order to be a successful exporter, first of all, the most important thing which I would like to share with the audience is that selection of the market is number 1 priority. Because in order to get your products registered outside Pakistan, it needs huge investment in terms of documentation like CTD format and lots of testing and inspection of your plant. So it's not like a garment product. If you want to register your product, it takes 2 to 3 years to get it registration. So you have to be very, very, selective. You should identify the countries where the low-hanging fruits are there, and you are able to, chip in that country easily. You have to see the banking channels, and you have to see the right, the second step is that you should For a newcomer, I think the most important thing is that you have to select the right partner there as a distributor, because from the day one you cannot, go there and have your own team. So product, selection of the country, then the product portfolio. For example, my success story is that 90% of my export business is ophthalmic business. Why? Because I saw that there was less competition in ophthalmic market, because if I go for other therapeutic areas, there were so many competitors. So we selected ophthalmic range, and we were able to, penetrate so successfully. And, we are competing so, like in Sri Lanka, if we are number 3 ophthalmic company, that means we are doing much better than, Indian and Bangladeshi companies. So product portfolio is very important. And then I think we should always invest in terms of quality, because outside Pakistan, if your products will only be established as a brand if you continuously provide quality products. Otherwise, you will not be able to sustain in that market. So I think this is the major factor, that, selection of market, product portfolio, and continuous improvement. And you have to, make sure that you should be able to establish your brands. So this is the whole success story for my company, and we are, continuously, improving our business. And considering the current circumstance of our country, I think all other companies who are still thinking to, invest, I would suggest that they should invest in export, and that is the way forward for a successful survival of pharmaceutical industry. And this will also bring revenues to the country as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Tauqeer. And Arshad, on to you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Arshad Mehmood. I'm Chairman W Group of Industries that comprises 17 manufacturing plants in Pakistan. میں چاہتا ہوں کہ میں ذرا انگلش اور اردو دونوں میں بات کروں. اس وقت جو پاکستان کی سچویشن ہے اکنامیکل، پرسوں جیسے پرائم منسٹر آف پاکستان اور چیف آف آرمی اسٹاف انہوں نے جو گرین نیشنل کانفرنس کی ہے، گرین ریولوشن کی، کارپوریٹ فارمنگ، اور یعنی ان کا جو مین فوکس ہے اس وقت ہمارا ایکسپورٹ کے اوپر ہے. اور بینگ این انڈسٹری فارماسوٹیکل، وی مسٹ نو وی آر لکی انف کہ وی آر ان اے بزنس دیٹ از این انٹرنیشنل بزنس. اور ٹیکسٹائل کی ہماری جو ایکسپورٹ ہے اور ٹیکسٹائل کی جو انٹرنیشنل مارکیٹ ہے وہ ہے $1,200 billion. بٹ pharmaceutical international market is $1,800 billion. Our government should realize this thing کہ pharmaceutical کا جو scope ہے international وہ ایون ٹیکسٹائل سے بھی زیادہ ہے. اور اس کی ایک دفعہ جیسے میرے سینئرز جو ہیں اس بات کو کر رہے ہیں، I really appreciate the efforts of my seniors کہ وہ اس ٹاپک کو، اس مین ویریبلس کو اتنا اہم سمجھتے ہیں کہ ہمارے ہر سال ایک فارما سمٹ کے نام سے، نام اس کا ویسے پیسا ہے، میں سمجھتا ہوں پیسا کے نام سے، یہ اس کو اگر آج سے جانا جائے کہ ہم نے ڈالرز کیسے کمانے ہیں اور انٹرنیشنل مارکیٹ میں بینگ فارما انڈسٹری ہم نے کیسے انٹر ہونے ہیں. تو اس میں جتنے ہمارے چیلنجز ہیں، ہر کی سٹوری جو ہے سکسیس مور اور لیس سیم ہے. جو بہت سینئرز ہیں ان کو تو فردر ہم گائیڈ نہیں کر سکتے، لیکن جو ہمارے ساتھ کھڑے ہیں جو ابھی ہم سے جونیئر ہیں، آئی ووڈ لائک ٹو ایڈوائز دوز آل کہ ہمیں اس میں ایک تو پیشنس کی ضرورت ہے، اور ہمیں ان مارکیٹس کو پہلے ٹارگٹ کرنے کی ضرورت ہے جہاں پہ ابھی اتنی اسٹرینجنٹ جو ہے ہماری ریکوائرمنٹس نہیں ہیں. اور دیر آر سو مینی کنٹریز جہاں پہ لوگوں کو پتہ ہی نہیں ہے اور وی کین انٹر. ہم صرف ایفرٹ ہی نہیں کر رہے. اور یہ جو ایکسپورٹ کا پروسیس ہے یہ تھوڑا سا اس میں ہمیں ٹالرنس اور پیشنس چاہیے. یہ نہیں ہے کہ آج ہی ہم شروع کریں گے اور اگلے دن ہماری ایکسپورٹ شروع ہو جائے گی. جیسے توقیر بھائی کہہ رہے ہیں کہ اٹ ول ٹیک ایٹ لیسٹ 2 to 3 years. 2-3 سال آپ نے جسٹ اس ڈپارٹمنٹ کو سیلریز دینی ہے اور آپ کے جو لوگ ہیں دے شوڈ وزٹ دا مارکیٹ پرسنلی. جسٹ آپ انٹرنیٹ پہ بیٹھ کے اور باقی صرف آپ ایکسپو میں کسی میں جا کے یہ بزنس نہیں کر سکتے. ہماری اس وقت ایکسپورٹ جو ہے ڈبلیو گروپ کی الحمدللہ 16 کنٹریز میں ہے, اور ہماری یعنی ان کنٹریز میں ایکسپورٹ ہے جن میں بہت زیادہ ابھی اس لیول کی ریکوائرمنٹس نہیں ہے. دوسری بات جو کوالٹی کی ہے, جیسے توقیر بھائی نے کہا, اگر آپ کوالٹی پہ کمپرومائز کریں گے تو نہ آپ لوکل مارکیٹ میں سروائیو کر سکتے ہیں بینگ ان فارما انڈسٹری, اور نہ ہی آپ انٹرنیشنل مارکیٹ میں کبھی بھی انٹر ہو سکتے ہیں. اگر غلطی سے ایک دفعہ آپ کو کوئی چانس مل بھی گیا اور آپ کا پروڈکٹ چلا بھی گیا تو کبھی آپ کو ریپیٹ آرڈر نہیں آئے گا. تو اس لیے ہمارے اس وقت ملک کی بھی ضرورت ہے, کنٹری کی جو اس وقت بینگ نیشن ہماری ضرورت ہے, ہمیں اپنی ایکسپورٹ کو بڑھانا ہے, اپنی امپورٹ کے سبسٹیٹیوٹس ڈیولپ کرنے ہیں. ابھی تک ہماری جو بیسک را انڈسٹری ہے وہ ڈیولپ نہیں ہو سکی. 93% جو ہے ابھی تک ہمارا را مٹیریل جو ہے وہ امپورٹ ہو رہا ہے. تو ہمیں جو ٹریڈ ڈیفیسٹ کو کم کرنے کے لیے ہمیں ہر ایک کو وی مسٹ ریئلائز انڈیویجولی کہ ہمیں اپنا فوکس جو ہے ایکسپورٹ کے اوپر لے کے جانا ہے. ہم کچھ ڈالرز کمائیں گے, ہمارے ریزرو تب بڑھیں گے, تب ہمارے دوسرے ملکوں میں عزت بھی ہوگی, ہماری اکانومی بہتر ہوگی. ہماری صرف فارماسوٹیکل کی اتنی بڑی مارکیٹ ہے کہ ہماری جو اکانومی ہے پاکستان کی وہ تو 10,000 بلین روپیز کی ہے, اور یہاں پہ 1,800 بلین ڈالر کی انٹرنیشنل مارکیٹ ہے. افریقہ کی مارکیٹ جو ہے وہ تقریباً 86 بلین ڈالر کی ہے. تو ہم تھوڑا سا اس کو فوکس کر کے, میں سمجھتا ہوں سکسیس کی جو ڈیفینیشن ہے وہ ہے کنٹینیوس ایکچولائزیشن آف یور آئیڈیاز. اگر آپ نے ابھی سوچا, آپ نے سنا کہ یار ہم ایکسپورٹ میں جانا ہے, اور یہاں نکل کے آپ بھول جائیں اور اس کو پلاننگ میں نہیں ڈالیں گے کہ یار اگلے 1 سال میں یا 2 سال میں نے اس ملک کو ٹارگٹ کرنا ہے, تو تب تک آپ ایکسپورٹ کو شروع بھی نہیں کر سکتے. آپ نے ان چیزوں کو یہاں سے لکھ کے لے جانا ہے. سارے جتنے یہاں پہ لوگ بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں الحمدللہ دے کین گائیڈ یو. جو ابھی یہ بتا رہے ہیں, اگر ان میں کوئی اہم بات آپ کو سمجھ آ رہی ہے اس کو ضرور لکھ لیں. جو بندہ بات لکھتا نہیں نا وہ ایویپوریٹ ہو جاتی ہے, اس کی کوئی ویلیو نہیں ہے. آپ یہاں سے جو سن رہے ہیں یو فیل لائک کہ یہ بات جو ہے اہم ہے, اس بات کو ضرور لکھ لیں اور اس کو جا کے کل سے ہی آج سے ہی شروع کروا دیں. میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ آپ اپنے بزنس کو, وی آر لکی اگین, آئی ایم سیئنگ وی آر لکی انف, وی آر ان اے بزنس دیٹ از این انٹرنیشنل بزنس. اگر ہم انٹرنیشنل بزنس میں لکیلی آ گئے ہیں یا پلاننگ سے آ گئے ہیں تو ابھی ہمیں اس چانس کو اویل کرنا چاہیے, اور ہمیں انٹرنیشنل مارکیٹ جو ہے اس کو ضرور, میں ریکویسٹ کروں گا پریزنس کا اٹھاتے ہوئے جو ہمارے سی او صاحب ہیں, کہ ایکسپورٹ میں پہلے بھی یہ ریئلی ویداس جہاں بھی ہمیں ایکسپورٹ میں ضرورت ہے, 1 ونڈو آپریشن شروع کر دیا اور بہت ساری چیزیں, اس کو فوکس کر کے میں سمجھتا ہوں اس سے بڑا صدقہ جاریہ نہیں ہے. ملک بچانے کے لیے اس سے بڑی کوئی ایفرٹ نہیں ہے کہ اگر ہم جو ہے ایکسپورٹ کے اوپر فوکس کریں. اور ڈریپ سے میں سمجھتا ہوں جہاں پہ ڈریپ ہماری ہیلپ کر رہی ہے اس کو اگر کوئی 2-3 گنا زیادہ کر دیں اور اس کا فوکس اور پرائرٹی چینج کر دیں تو ہماری ایکسپورٹ جو ہے, دیکھیں بنگلہ دیش 2015 میں ان کی صرف $7 ملین کی ایکسپورٹ تھی, اور ابھی میرے خیال میں $1.8 ملین پہ ابھی وہ پہنچے ہیں, اور ان کا جو 2027 کا ٹارگٹ ہے وہ $5 بلین کا ہے. تو اگر ہم نے انڈیا اور بنگلہ دیش کو کمپیٹ کرنا ہے تو ہمیں اپنی ایکسپورٹ کو فوکس کرنے کی ضرورت ہے. تھینک یو ویری مچ.
Thank you. Adeel?
I'm Adeel Abbas, Group Managing Director and CEO of Highnoon Laboratories. Thank you very much, Emma, for providing this opportunity. And Pakistan Export Summit, Haroon Saab, thank you very much for providing this opportunity. Let me start with this admission that I'm sharing the stage with the companies who have done exceptionally well compared to us in the export. And I'm glad that I'm here, that we'll be able to learn something with the experience of few other companies as well. Still, I would like to share the bit of mine, what we have done in last few years. Though we've been there in the market for last 30 years, and we started off, we were the pioneer in export business in Pakistan. But there were many companies who were ahead of us in the middle. And then back into 2020, we got into the situation when in COVID, we realized that there was a great acceptance about preventive healthcare. And there was also a great awareness about using dietary supplement all over the world. So this was something which made us realize that this can be an interesting opportunity to explore globally. And this was the point from where we started looking at the dietary supplement market. Now let me also share with you that people also already usually get confused with dietary supplement market. Dietary supplement market is different than the nutrition market. According to Fortune Business Insight, back in 2019 or 20, the dietary supplement market was somewhere around 70 billion US dollar, whereas Neutro market was almost 350 billion US dollar. And according to the business Fortune Business Insight, they were expecting that by 2028, this market would be somewhere around 128 billion US dollar. So this was a big, huge opportunity for us. And being pharmaceutical company, we knew that QBD, I'm glad that Emily mentioned in her presentation, QBD was something which can help us, which can be a unique selling proposition for us. And this was the point we actually started working for USP. And Route to Health, which is an associated company of Highnoon, was the first company in Pakistan and Asia who got this USP certification in Pakistan. And this indeed helped us a lot. Today we marked our presence in multiple countries, Sri Lanka, CIS, Far East, and interestingly, we already had an agreement with our very global partner with us, which is Engelhardt, German company. So what we did, we went into an agreement with them, and now we are very soon we'll be launching one locally manufactured cough syrup, which is a global brand in Philippines very soon. So this USP certification helped us a lot. So this was the bit from our side that what we did in the export, and we are looking forward to capitalize on this opportunity in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Adeel. Qurat?
Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Qurat-ul-Ain from Pacific Pharmaceutical. I won't take much of your time. We achieved MHRA. I think achieving accreditation is very easy, but keeping it on CGMP guidelines is very, very difficult. You have to live GMP, you have to follow each step, you have to work for data integrity, and we are so much advanced in IT, but there is not a certified lab who could give us a certificate that your computer system is integrated and you cannot change with it. We change our CFR compliant QC equipment, but we cannot do anything with the computers. So we have to develop on those lines also, and adding to new GMP guidelines from WHO, ICH guidelines, you have to be more vigilant after getting the accreditation. And one thing, interesting thing that I learned by supplying to the SRA markets, we have a ACG machine installed in our company, and this is attached with 2 servers, Tracelink in UK and one in our computer section. During process of a batch, few packs were smudged, and as a routine, our people, they just didn't include in the total number of packs used, but it was detected by the server in UK. So we have to justify these minor things and coming up with the answers to their queries. So I suggest we all should go work for more accreditation and keeping us staff. We should also detect and integrate our production facilities, our systems to keep to the standards, international standards. And I learned the word preventive maintenance of equipment. This is very important. We have to have robust equipment if we want to search for stringent markets. And we are also in line working with USP and WHO and PQM for our 4 FTCs and TTB, and we are willing to go for WHO accreditation for one of our products, and we would like to have more products. It's not the only product.
Can we have another microphone?
Hey, Emma, good afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, for the time which you are, giving us today. And I think I agree with Adeel and many of the guests, the panelists on the stage that I really feel very proud sharing the stage because, many people on the stage perhaps and on the floor also have done a much better job than perhaps many of us on the stage. So, well, I'm Atif. I'm working as Chief Executive for CCL Life Sciences, which is the international arm of CCL. Just to introduce a bit about CCL. CCL is a conglomerate operating in 22 plus countries. We have 3 manufacturing sites, 2 in Lahore, 1 in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. Well, broad and large, our mission when it comes to CCL is to enable healthy and happy lives by providing quality healthcare solutions. And that's perhaps, approximately 3,000 people working with CCL believe in, and they make sure that this attempt is made, with full justice on daily basis. Now, coming to exports, perhaps, Emma, there's a common saying which says that failures are orphans and success has many fathers, So, in our case, I think, like any other company, we went through quite a few failures. But I think keeping in view how CCL is designed, let's say the key therapeutic areas where we operate are chronic care, which is cardiometabolics, neuropsychiatry, respiratory. So perhaps keeping in view how the dynamics or there's a paradigm shift in the healthcare landscape because of the aging population, I think by default, CCL fits, in most of the cases, because whenever there's an aging population, people will end up into chronic care, they will be needing chronic care solutions. And perhaps CCL is an organization which tries to fit by providing healthcare solutions in diabetes, cardiovasculars, and many other diseases. Now, there's no quick fix for success, as we all know. And one size does not fit all. So I also agree with many of my colleagues sitting here that you have to, at times, in fact, with us, we try a level best to think global and act local. One size does not fit all. However, it is extremely important to make sure, especially during the current years, where we are all witnessing a severe decline in the global GDP. We need to understand which markets are better to approach. For example, these could be pharma emerging markets, which are good 17, 18 in number. Out of those 17, 18 markets, luckily CCL operates in 4 out of 17 markets, including Pakistan, as we all know. However, there's no doubt about it that R&D, quality is key. I think as an organization, over the years, we have evolved significantly in improving our quality to make sure that we are correct the first time when we are entering the market. Selection of the business partner, working with a mindset which should not perhaps be an export mindset, but should actually be an MNC mindset. Because as I said, export is undoubtedly, the most important thing which anyone can do for the country. But when you are in the export business, there is a lot of burden on your shoulders because you're representing your country in any country where you're operating. So you have to understand the local culture, in the best way possible. And perhaps, these are a few things which I believe, which made us, one of the largest exporters of CCL, and which made CCL one of the largest exporters from Pakistan. And we wish to continue and improve further. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Atif. And Nusrat, sitting patiently at the end here.
I thought you would start with me, but you didn't. Anyways, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Nusrat Munshi. I am the CEO and Managing Director of AGP Limited, which is a part of the OBS group, and it's the 10th, it's amongst the top 10 pharmaceutical groups in Pakistan. AGP is a 34-year-old company, and I'll just take a minute to share the journey which later on helped in developing our export markets. So during its early years, AGP partnered with global pharmaceutical powerhouses such as Eli Lilly, Alcon, UCB, Dr. Falk, and they were manufacturing their products locally under license. So that subjected AGP facilities to frequent audits by these companies, and which resulted in very strong quality management systems right from the beginning. The cephalosporins facility that we have, it was a purpose-built facility which was a joint venture with Eli Lilly, and it was made under the supervision of the technical team of Eli Lilly, so which helped us in the cephalosporins space globally when we showcased our products in the export market. Another factor which helps us, AGP is listed on the Pakistan Stock Exchange, so that gives us a lot of transparency and visibility in terms of our numbers, our top line, our various disclosures. So it certainly helps when we market our products to the export market. Just to give you an example, in 2022, our annual report was awarded the Best Corporate Report Award by the Institute of Chartered Accountants, which is testaments to our commitment to be transparent. So I think that's something which is unique when, as far as AGP is concerned. We started off a decade ago. We initially targeted territories with less stringent regulatory requirements to gain insights into the foreign territory, and later on expanded our arms. So that's pretty much, that's a little different. Our journey has been a little different from the others, I would say. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Nusrat. Thank you all for sharing your stories there. Right now I go into journalist mode because we are very, very short on time. We only have 12 minutes left. So I'm going to ask the questions. All I want is a one-sentence answer, please, so we can go straight down the line really quickly. And we'll start off with one. I know that Hamid wanted us to start off with this one. It's a very good question because Javed did a fantastic presentation dealing with this earlier. But I'm going to start with Haroon. I am going to start with Haroon. We'll start at the top. Give me in one sentence a factor stopping export potential for Pakistan's pharma exports. One of the factors.
One factor, and you said one liner. I think it's a mindset which blocks us, to explore the export markets. I think we should think outside the box, and there should not be any stopping the companies to explore the international markets.
Okay, Moujood.
Yeah, there is a huge potential for Pakistan pharma export. Only thing is, two things we need to do. One is the stringent regulatory requirements are changing every day. So as a pharma industry, we need to change our infrastructure and our R&D centers. In the other hand, we also need a support from the government. They must, support us in terms of they help us to do a BE from some accreditation center with this subsidized cost. Because if you see Bangladesh government, the company is paying $20,000, rest the government is paying. Similarly, Indian government is paying 40% of the BE cost, whereas we are not getting anything. So for Pakistan, at the moment, the financial cost is a big challenge.
Okay, thank you. Hamid?
Thank you. I gave you this question to be asked, so I'll take more than a minute because I think this question, everything is in the answer of this question which you just asked. So according to myself, I believe there are 4 factors which are hampering the export potential which the industry or the human resources already have it, but we're not able to exploit that potential. The first factor, I believe, is the industry itself, like the people sitting here or right there. Because I believe the kind of investment and the kind of reinvestment needed to improve our units are not being done. You know, at least 50 companies in Pakistan, which are more than 10 billion, they should have invested a kind of amount required to get the international accreditations like US FDA, MHRA, EMA, or PICS certification. We have very few. So I think the first fault lies with the entrepreneurship and the people of the industry, that the kind of investment or the reinvestment needed to improve their plans to qualify for the international accreditation is not being done. The second thing, which I believe, is the depth of our regulatory. The depth of regulatory is not as such to comply the international standards or the time taken to develop a CTD dossier, apart from the cost, is not that quick as it should be. And that is directly related to the academia, third part. Academia, I say today, we have implemented CTD dossiers, we have implemented a lot of regulatory compliances, but the only product we are getting as a human resource is a pharmacist. A pharmacist who has no practical knowledge or no practical domain where he can go. If today if I ask the what qualification a person I need to appoint as a QA, only pharmacist. As a regulatory officer, pharmacist. As a production officer, pharmacist. So no depth in the regulatory to fulfill the need of the pharma industry, which is required. And last but not the least is the people who are in power, like DRAP or the Commerce Ministry or the Trade Development Authority of Pakistan. Two factors, like the processing time and the cost, that should be reduced. Anything that is related to the export, that should come up very fast and have very low cost to process the things in accordance with the international requirements. These four factors, I believe, are the main factors that we cannot exploit the full potential of exports.
Okay, thank you so much. Tauqeer, what do you think?
I think we had been talking about lots of potential for export business. And over the years, we are discussing that there is huge potential. And when we look at our neighboring country, India, which has crossed 25 billion US dollar export market. So in short, I would like to say that the triangle of industry, government, and the DRAP, these are the three major factors which, if they join hands together and take pharmaceutical industry as a lifeline to expand export. For example, there are 5 sectors: textile and carpets and other 5 factors. So pharmaceutical industry should be taken by the government as a new product to expand export and to bring revenue. So for that, I would like to say the only hindrance is that there should be a PharmExcel sort of committee here, and government should include industry and DRAP and all the relevant stakeholders, Ministry of Commerce, and we should take it as a project and should set a milestone that in next 5 years, from 300 million US dollar to we should reach at least in 3 years 1 billion US dollar export. And in order to do that, I think the government should provide friendly policies to expand export and friendly and consistent. And CEO Qassim Saab is sitting here. I think DRAP has also, we had lots of deliberation with DRAP, and they are all set to, because DRAP objective is now also to help and facilitate pharmaceutical industry to expand export. So I think if all these three, DRAP, government, and industry is ready, potential is there. So I think let's request government and DRAP, and we should also realize that lots of potential is there in export. So if all these three factors combine together, set an objective and work continuously and at a faster pace, I am sure that Pakistan can be seen as one of the major exporters in this area.
Okay, thank you. Arshad, what do you think? What are the factors stopping export potential?
Thank you very much. You already have said, go like tuck, tuck, tuck. Already I have taken a lot of time. I would like to just suggest three factors. Government of Pakistan should take it as a challenge and make some pharma export committee, and that should be given target of export, and that target should be regularly followed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. And as pharma export cannot be possible without the help of a regulatory authority. So I would like to request CEO DRAB Assam Rauf. I need really real help for export from DRAB. If that help actually been given to us, our export can be double, tripled anytime. So the third factor, that is quality. Every industrialist should invest on his plant to cater better markets and to ensure quality of the product. So investment on the plant and the focus, clear focus, we are going in export market, that should be there. Focus, focus, and focus. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Might be a repetition what has already been said. In my opinion, one thing is focusing and understanding about the global regulatory compliance is and would be the key. And second thing, export should be the collective objective of all the stakeholders, be it Ministry of Health or Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Pakistan pharmaceutical industry and the company. So these are the two things. Thank you.
Thank you. Qurat?
Yes. Most important thing, to invest in your companies to build their standards. So we meet with the international standards. We have been through MHRA, and EU GMP, because our equipment, our machinery is, you see, a Mercedes of pharmaceutical industry. So we have to improve our standard to have CFR compliant equipment in QC, testing, everything, and buying raw material from a good source and doing risk management analysis before we enter into any stringent export market. Thank you.
Thank you. Atif?
I think quality is a given in any case, because in the industry in which we are, pharmaceuticals, that's a given. Yes, we need to evolve further wherever we are. However, perhaps I believe that this is the time for incremental innovation. Simple innovation may not, because by and large, we as a country operates in branded generic pharmaceutical business. So to get into, to be perceived as a country where some incremental innovation can happen, for example, high-value generics, for example, biosimilars, this can perhaps, be the game changer, because, what we notice in the world out, wherever we operate now, especially in the so-called emerging and developed markets, this is what the game changer would be. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Okay. Thank you. Nusrat?
Okay, so my 2 cents are that I think as a nation, we are often stuck in the lowest grade of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which stops us from doing better. Now, I'll just a couple of points. I think DRAB's accreditation, if that could be uplifted, I think all companies under the purview of DRAB would get a natural uplift. Secondly, I think it's a good forum, and this is something which is very close to my heart, is the counterfeit problem in Pakistan. I think that zaps out a lot of energy from quality manufacturers. The counterfeit rate in Pakistan, based on a WHO study done in 2011, it's between 40 and 50%. So in terms of commercial interests, that hurts the commercial interests of companies, quality manufacturers. So I think If that is addressed, that would leave a lot of resources to good quality manufacturers to invest into exports. So.
Thank you so much. My next question to all of you, there's obviously a huge global discussion on sustainability, environmental friendliness, moving away from traditional testing practices. And we've heard some of our speakers this morning talk about, affordability, price points, making things available to everyone. So my next question to you all is, how do you ensure sustainability and ethical practices throughout your supply chain? Haroon, if I can start with you just for a quick answer.
I think supply chain in the last few years due to COVID has been a significant challenge. And the pharmaceutical industry is very transparent in the sense that anything we buy, any raw material or any packaging material, has to go through a rigorous process of quality control. So I think over the last many years and with the regulatory standards which are becoming very stringent, especially as we talk about the local regulatory compliance, the regulatory authority have come up with many of the challenges that we are in the global context. So the supply chain is coming in a very transparent, and I think over the years we will see a lot of companies will have to, as my colleagues talked about, data integrity. I think data integrity as a global context is playing a very important role, and everything you do in the pharmaceutical industry has to be a solution where integrity is no doubt and the quality is paramount. So I think the sustainability is there, the environment and the quality and the supply chain, I think will facilitate the pharmaceutical industry, especially the compliant companies, to grow further into their businesses.
Thank you. Moujood, how are you dealing with this within your organization?
Yeah, actually, supply chain is one of the key factors for any organization. In normal circumstances, the supply chain obviously is very important. Like before COVID, we were doing very good. We have full supply chain system, SAP system, and our planning team is very equipped with all the software, everything. But after COVID, then, the economic condition of the Pakistan, when imports were delayed something, and during that period, supply chain disturbed a lot. Otherwise, I believe the supply chain very important. Only thing is both your distributor and as your supplier, if you are, set a protocol, SOPs to maintain the inventory, including the transit time, then, you are good to supply the stocks and avoid the shortages.
Okay. Hamid, how are you dealing with sustainability in your organization?
As my colleague said, the supply chain is very critical in sustaining or maintaining the quality of any product. So you need to see that if you can build the facilities in-house or you can delegate to some competent companies who can manage it for you, for your raw materials and finished products. And for your inventory in your company, you have to make enough arrangements from the inception of the raw materials till the execution of the final product, and all the conditions are maintained to sustain the quality of the product.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tauqeer?
Yeah, I think supply chain is key to success, and the first important thing is that we should be having a very, very professional partners in terms of supply chain, because 95% of our raw material is imported. So we have to select the quality partners, and they should be able to supply. Recently, we faced lots of issues, and the companies which were not having a professional supply chain partners, they really face issue. And I would just quickly quote an example that last year, Sri Lanka went into default. And there was huge shortages of even multinational companies because LCs were not opening, and raw material source was also an issue. So as a company, we became very active, and we were able to procure raw materials right before time, and we were able to supply our products in that unpredictable and unprecedented situation, because there was acute shortages of eye care products in Sri Lanka, and we were the only company which was able to make sure that our products are available. So it helped patient. Medical community was happy, and we also got this opportunity to utilize this unprecedented situation into an opportunity to build our brand. So I think supply chain, most of the companies have gone into SAP, and that will bring efficiency. So I think we should also ensure that efficiency of supply chain is very, very important.
Okay, thank you. Arshad, very quickly, please, because I've been told time. So.
Thank you very much. As Tauqeer Bhai said, in the recent global economy, there are many challenges like dollar is unpredictable, or inflation is unpredictable in international business. When you decide some rates with the other partner, definitely you have to provide stock on the same rate. For that purpose, you have to maintain a minimum inventory level. For that purpose, what we are doing, we are maintaining a certain level of inventory of all those products just to avoid if dollar rate is changed, that should not affect our supply chain. So whenever you decide some rate in international market, you must have inventory of those products on the same dollar rate that is today or the same day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Adeel?
Thank you. I agree with Haroon, Qassim, in the kind of regulatory structure we have in Pakistan and the compliance we follow. Supply chain has been remained very transparent by default. So there's no question about this thing. The pressure which we faced during last, especially last 2-3 years because of economy is the devaluation of PKR. So this is the pressure which we faced, not in any other kind of a pressure. Thank you.
Qurat?
Yeah, it is very interesting and very important. Our transportation and the way we portray our products, how we palletize our product, how we place the data loggers, how we switch the refrigerated container at our premises and then on way to Karachi. So all these things are to be monitored till every level. And we by self make sure and we take pictures. So if a custom authority or these things in Europe, they don't like the packages to be opened by anyone other than themselves. So it is very important, and you have to wait till the container reaches to the destination and they are satisfied with the temperature controls and other parameters during the transportation. So we ourselves make sure that they receive the product as we send the picture to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Atif?
Emma, perhaps when it comes to sustainability,
Yes,
if that's where you started the question with, sustainability is very close to CCL's heart. Perhaps of the so-called published SDGs of WHO, which are, I believe, 17 in all, in number, the two which we have decided to keep, and started working upon is climate change and perhaps health and well-being. And in order to make sure that we work or we add value in terms of, and I feel very proud that CCL among the pharmaceutical companies, is one of the pioneers who have taken the lead there. And there is a special focus. There are ambassadors within the organization, where we make sure that at least of the 17, these two SDGs are being special focused upon, and then there are various activities which revolves around all this. So that's our part in that.
Thank you so much. And Nusrat, I know sustainability is something you're passionate about.
Yes. In fact, out of the 17 SDGs, we implement 9 at AGP. We are proud to, and its details are there in the annual report. Just on the other side, I think a good, fully integrated ERP system is extremely important for an efficient supply chain. And AGP was one of the first companies 16 years ago to implement SAP, a fully integrated SAP. And I think over the years it has paid dividends because it helps us making informed decisions. So I think that's extremely important as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, all I can say is the industry in Pakistan is in very good hands with all of you. You're the future. You're making it work and looking forward to seeing what you do next. Please, can we have a nice round of applause for our panelists?